There's Mama.
My curling iron didn't work today.
Mommy looks pretty.
She's just beautiful on the inside and out. Just very graceful and classy and loving.
She was a dream of a big sister. She was popular, she was athletic, she was great in school. She also loved music and she played the violin, and we were all very proud of her.
Michele Summers, she's gorgeous. She was voted Miss Concord, homecoming queen, cheerleader, a straight A student.
She enjoyed acting and drama. She did a lot of modeling.
Michele Summers is very, very involved in her church, the Mormon church. And she is at an event for young singles. And it is there she meets Martin MacNeill.
He caught her eye, and she was swept off her feet, I guess would be the word for it.
Michele was just 21 years old when she met Martin MacNeill, and within months of meeting Martin, the two of them eloped and were married and began a family very quickly.
And all she cared about was her family.
And helping
us.
people. Incredibly empathetic to anyone's problems or situation. And
She would take anyone in and just genuinely love them.
Her dream was to someday be a wife and a mother. And her dreams seemingly come true.
She had 4 kids in 5 years, so we were just boom, boom, boom.
That was not enough for Michele and Martin MacNeill. They decided to give children that did not have homes a home.
Here's Michele and Sharon inside the car as usual.
So they proceeded to adopt children from Ukraine.
And that's it off in the distance. Here's one of our drivers.
So you were the first to be adopted?
Yes.
So what did you think when you were brought down and met Michele and Martin?
I liked them right away. Like, Mom seemed to be really sweet.
And the family grew to not just 4 children, but 8.
Growing up, I had a wonderful childhood. I mean, my mom was always there and just the best person you could ever ask to have as a mother. She doted on all of us.
really was there emotionally for every little thing. And my father, I was very close with my father as well. I mean, we all were, and I had just a really good relationship with both of them.
So from the outside looking in, it sounds like the perfect family.
Yeah.
She was very quiet, was always very pretty and very well kept.
All the girls were just dressed perfect, like a tea party.
But if Martin was ever around, it was him that always dominated every conversation.
Martin MacNeill was appointed by the governor of Utah to be to head up a very large medical facility. It was a very big job for someone who, by all accounts, had a very big ego.
He just made sure to say that he was a doctor and a lawyer.
He walked in the room and sort of took it over, like, look at me, like he was above everybody.
The Summers family had a long history with Martin. They did not like him with Michele and thought that he was controlling and manipulative.
I never liked him. He seemed arrogant to me. He seemed all about himself.
He wasn't anybody that you'd ever want to be around.
Everybody hated him.
Everyone hated
I mean,
him.
I was constantly trying to explain my father. When he'd come home, he was a completely different person. So we thought we knew the real person.
My sister seemed to grow more distant, like he would pull her away from the family. She just seemed to be more withdrawn.
Did any of you ever feel like you could say, Michele, there's something about this guy that we don't like?
We did try to warn her, and there was no talking to her. It was like he had his grips around her. He had total control.
I first met Alexis and Rachel back in 2010 when I was doing a story on their father, Martin MacNeill, for 2020.
When my father turned 50, he started acting very strangely. I thought he was just going through a midlife crisis at first. It became just very obsessed with losing weight and his appearance.
Going
to tanning salons.
He lost weight.
He lost weight. He'd start exercising just all the time, just in the middle of a conversation, jumping and doing push-ups, things like that.
It was really bizarre. I mean,
really
very
strange.
Very out of the ordinary.
How did your mom react to all this behavior all of a sudden, this focus on physicality?
She was suspicious.
She thought that her husband was having an affair.
Michele confronted Martin MacNeill with allegations of an affair. And ever the manipulator, he turned the tables on her and told her that she should make some changes too. Martin MacNeill convinced her she needed a full-on facelift.
My mom had never talked about that before or anything. She'd never been into plastic surgery or anything.
Are we talking like just a little eye tuck?
No, it was a full facelift.
So how much convincing did it take?
Quite a bit, actually. She saw my dad tanning, getting all in shape, and so I think, you know, my mom was just a little concerned too. Oh, well, maybe I should do a couple things, you know, maybe that will help.
She was afraid that she was losing her husband.
I actually went to the consultations with her to meet this plastic surgeon, and she told him all of her concerns, saying maybe I'll wait till this summer. I would be home from medical school for my summer break, and so I could be there and can help with the recovery. And my dad said, oh no, Alexis, you have spring break coming up in a week. Let's do it then. My dad was very pushy. I said, what's the rush? Oh, well, we have everything set up. We have the, you know, the anesthesiologist is reserved. We need to do it.
Martin had found a plastic surgeon, and Martin came in with a list of things that he wanted Michele to have that he said would help her. Michele ended up being prescribed Percocet, Loratab, Valium, Ambien, Phenergan. These were all central nervous system depressants, and they were never meant to be taken at the same time.
And the surgeon agreed?
He knew my dad was a physician, so he thought he knew, you know, how to dose different medications. It was just bizarre because, yeah, my mom was very sensitive to medication anyway.
Martin MacNeill insisted his wife go home with prescriptions for lots of sedatives and painkillers that normally would not have been prescribed following plastic surgery. But the surgeon deferred to Martin MacNeill because Dr. MacNeill planned to take care of his wife personally. What could go wrong?